The Match Ball.
Hello there and welcome to the show. It's brought to you in association with Levi's Solicitors, who will do you a 10% discount on your legal fees for their whole range of services. levisolicitors.co.uk/the square ball for details. Services that include, Michael.
Well, probate conveyancing. I received a message last night from the great bunch of lads at Levi's Solicitors, picture them together, and the little slogan there underneath. I was like, there you go, the lads.
Live on YouTube for our TSB Plus members, and if you're listening afterwards, you can find the playback on there as well. I did delete last week's.
You did, well done.
The last home game, so I had to come back into the office on Saturday night and re-upload that. Thankfully, it saves on the computer, but you don't need to know about my slackness. We can concentrate on a very professional win by Leeds United. It wasn't a vintage one, was it? Conditions weren't great, but it just feels like a routine 2-0 Champo home win.
Home win?
Away win. Just a win, a routine win.
Felt like at home, didn't it, with all the Leeds fans there?
He did. Away kit win. Let's not forget that.
Yep.
First win in an away kit since Brentford.
Jesus
Is that right? I think that's been the stat, hasn't it? That we've not won in an away kit since then.
Yeah, it's the first non-white kit win since Brentford.
Yes, that's it. Yeah. Bloody good going, and we deserved it. I thought just about. It didn't have an awful lot of structure to it, did it? That game.
No.
But it felt like it has in a few games this year. By just having better players, we might eventually just get the breakthrough, and it kind of worked that way.
It was strange because both halves generally followed the same pattern. Yet the first half, I was like, no, this is good. This is like a professional away performance. Scored halfway through it. Great. Just do that again. We did that again, and yet for the first 20, 25 minutes of that second half, I hated it. I just thought, oh no, this is awful. What are we doing? Get a grip of it.
What was it you said there towards the end, Michael, about...
I think just most of watching football is really just wishing for it to be over. Like, not most of the things. You don't go to a gig, do you, and sit there for the last like half hour going, wish this had finished.
Like this, encore, get to the encore.
Come on, get this wrapped up, let's get it home. I've had a good time to now, but that's enough of that. But it wasn't particularly stressful. I think the second goal, it felt like they gave up more or less.
Yeah, it killed the game. It killed it off as a contest, yeah.
They had more possession and more shots than us, but I think we had more on target, and they never really had amazing chances, it felt. I think like they had like a free header from a corner at some point, but I think we had the better chances of that, didn't we?
Yeah. There was the Melier save, wasn't there, from the corner, but I don't think he made any other saves, did he?
I think they might have had 2 on target, but I can't remember.
Yeah, that was the main one. I mean, there was what appeared to be a free header for them as well that was given offside anyway, but that doesn't count, does it? But yeah, big save. It was a big save from Melier, was that actually? Because
it was good.
That could have put us under a bit of pressure if they'd scored them. But
he had a bit of a weird game as well at times, but he sort of redeemed himself with that. You go, fair enough.
Yeah, it was a bit of a disjointed, like you say, slightly shapeless game. I think. Yeah,
there didn't feel to be a lot of play in the midfield. It was sort of end to end, but scrappy with it.
Yeah,
not in a traditional, I guess, the classic Bielsa end to end where there's lots of flowing moves. It felt like it wasn't particularly great quality.
It was ragged and shapeless, wasn't it? A lot of the time.
And we couldn't get it to stick, and it felt like Kamara and Ampadu both kept thinking they had more time on the ball or trying to do slightly more complicated things than they had time to do, and we'd lose it, but then they'd give it straight back to us, so it didn't really matter in the end. And it was just, it wasn't the one you would want to watch again, particularly.
It kind of went as advertised. Through the week, there was a piece on, I think it might have been Leeds Live, chatting with a Blackburn Rovers reporter, and he was saying how all their games this season are generally end-to-end, lots of goals, all about transition. And so, yeah, it kind of felt like a game where if our midfield could get a grip of it, it might be comfortable and really suit us. But in actual fact, you go, well, if it is end-to-end, that front four, it's going to do some damage eventually, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, them playing out from the back. Second half, it wasn't as bad for them, was it? But first half, we just kept catching them, and it felt like it was only a matter of time till we scored from them doing that. And we did have chances, didn't we, from it? And there was the one where the keeper, he did that little drag back thing, didn't he? And he slipped and
just fell over.
We very, very nearly pinched it off him and scored. But we should have had more in the first half, really. There was as well as obviously the goals, there was the one where James managed to nip in down the right side and he crossed it, and it looked like Rutter just needed to tap it in, and he didn't. And then there was the one where in fact it was when they were playing out, wasn't it, when Somerville managed to nick it and it went to Rutter, who tried to just lift it in, and there was Dan James at the back post and he could have passed it or he could have just scored, and he made a bit of a mess of it.
And this is the nice thing, like Jorginho did not have one of his better games today, but he still always offers threat and creativity, and we always have enough going forward to see out these games. It feels like more often than not. It's not going to happen every single time. There have been games where we've had off matches this season, but at no point was I fearful that we were going to lose that. You just hope that these games don't get away from you, if you know what I mean. Like, you don't concede a silly chance and go behind, and like a bit like we did at Southampton when the game just got away from us completely, didn't it? Or even Stoke, where we just didn't properly click into gear and couldn't turn it into a performance.
That Rutter chance where he tried to chip the keeper, it's kind of that opportunity where Farke has been talking a lot, where he just needs to be a bit of a bastard and just put the ball in. But also at the same time, I do love that he tried to chip the goalkeeper, because it's kind of what makes him so fun and so great. And it would have been amazing if that went in, but never mind. And it was kind of, I mean, the Dan James goal sort of summed Rutter's game up, where I don't know what he was trying to do in the middle of the pitch, but it just looked a mess. Yeah, it worked, and he comes away with another assist.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, he tripped over it himself, didn't he? But then I think the Blackburn defender kind of jumped over it or something when trying to win it off him. And
he did enough to confuse the defender.
All of a sudden, he's still got it. Fair enough. Yeah, it was a nice way of passing. A really good finish from James as well.
Yeah, so that was 27th minute, wasn't it? The finish. Yeah, and I did wonder, because the ball kind of ran across his body, if it had gone a little bit too wide for him to score. But for whatever reason, he's turned into Deadeye this season, hasn't he? Deadeye Dan, and put his laces through it and over into the far corner, and happy days.
A few minutes later was when he turned into Roadrunner as well. Just zoomed around that fullback as you two both went, yeah.
You can just see him, when you can see him building up his speed.
Yeah.
It's so funny to watch, because it just looks unreal to watch him running across the pitch.
Yeah, and there was that moment, and one of the notes I'd put towards the back end of the first half, actually, about it was 12 minutes after we'd scored, was when the keeper slipped.
Yes, yeah, I mentioned that.
I went, oh, it's all getting excited.
It's funny, because my note just before that says Mellier's been a bit weird, and then a minute later it's like, he's not as weird as the Blackburn keeper though, so he should be fine.
Yeah, we've had that a bit recently, haven't we? I think the pace of our front four for teams that do try to play out from the back, it causes them quite a lot of problems, because it was the same in Middlesbrough, wasn't it? Two of our goals in that game came from them trying to play out from the back.
Because you need to get it right, don't you? Because we do it, and there are moments where you kind of go, oof. But no errors today. But there were just one or two moments where you kind of, I'll say, you suck air in through your teeth when we're passing it out to Ampadu, who's got a man on his back, and he spins it out to one of the fullbacks or whatever. But yeah, we were fine today, I thought, playing out from the back. But yeah, we're coming up against so many teams, I think, that that just aren't quite good enough to do it against us. But they only find it out when we play them.
Yeah, I thought defensively we were just pretty solid today as well. They were, for all the play they had at points, they were struggling to create anything, and whenever they put a ball in the box, it felt like Rodon or Strout got the head on it. When it went wide, we tended to manage to close them down, so they couldn't ever get a dangerous crossing. They had a lot of corners, didn't they? From doing exactly that, where they'd work it wide, but then we'd block it and it'd go behind, and there was only the one chance from a corner, I think, that I can particularly remember. Although we kept showing replays of why corners were given, and then we'd miss the actual corner. I'm sure that happened a few occasions. But
yeah, we can blame Sean Harvey for that, I think, can't we?
Yes, I believe so. Yeah,
because it's his TV distribution there, EFL HQ. Yeah, into the second half, and again, it was a bit shapeless in the second half, wasn't it? There wasn't much going on besides both teams were trying to attack, but just not very well. It always felt like our final ball was just a little bit off today until it wasn't, and we scored.
It was the same as for them as well, wasn't it? Because that start of the second half, I really didn't enjoy. But just looking at my notes, I've not made any notes of them having a chance, really. They had one shot when they were sort of in the inside right, and he just hit it into the side netting. And it was kind of at that point, I've made a note just saying, get a grip of it, Leeds. And I was kind of hoping for us to just bring another central midfielder on to help Kamara and Ampadu. But then again, you just go back to that front four and you think, well, why would you sacrifice one of those attackers? Because they're going to cause some problems at some point. And that's what happened with the changes that were made. Like, it didn't really change anything tactically, and Nonso wasn't necessarily involved in the build-up of the goal. But from the moment he made those changes, we had like 3 chances on the bounce. And it just sort of switched all of a sudden the momentum.
Yeah, I'm similar to you, Rob. I didn't really make a note about them having chances. They did have some chances, didn't they? But like I say, you never really felt we were massively under the cosh for any of it. But I noted down, the Meslier save at 82 minutes.
There were a couple of edgy moments where there were penalty. I'm just looking through as well. There were a couple of penalty shouts there, but I don't think either of them were. There was the Strauch handball, which, I don't know, handball being handball, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't think it is. But, it does hit his hand, and maybe he should have just landed on his head instead of putting his arms down to to support himself as he went in for the tackle.
Just skidded on his arse.
Yeah, I mean, these things are given sometimes out in the back. That wasn't. And then there was one on the edge of the box, which, at first glance, I thought, well, that maybe looked a bit dicey, but it wasn't at all.
Yeah, what else do we have to cover off then? Subs. Let's run through the subs.
We've not really talked about the finish from Somerville either.
Yeah.
It was one of those slightly dodgy first touches, but it just sort of seemed to. He reminded me a little bit of Beckford's at Old Trafford in that a bad first touch almost seemed to knock everyone out of position a little bit, and then he was just able to lift it over. But no, it was good. It was a good finish.
Great from Archie in the build-up as well.
Yeah, like you say, you always just feel that at some point you're going to get that chance, and you just almost have to wait it out. As long as you don't do anything stupid.
Yeah.
At the other end, just wait it out. Your chance will come because we've demonstrably got a better attack than most of the teams in this division, which is nice, isn't it?
It's weird, isn't it?
Being relatively relaxed. Yeah.
Yeah, it is a strange feeling to go into every game thinking we've probably got enough that we should win this.
Yeah.
And then while watching a game, going, okay, well, eventually, I actually trust us to score here. At some point, something will click. A little Pirro through ball will go through, or someone will cut inside and score. There are many different routes to us getting a goal now. Whereas for a couple of years, it's just felt like absolutely an impossible task trying to score a goal, and equally defending we've made look very difficult at times as well. So no, it's good. Well, I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, and it's like the subs side of it as well. I took a note of the subs because I thought it's one of those days where it felt significant to me, the ability to bring on Spence and Nonto at 70 minutes or thereabouts for Byram and Dan James. It's the embarrassment of riches problem, if you want to do air quotes. And then you're bringing on Jaden Anthony for Somerville, 83 minutes, then 88, Matteo Joseph for Pirro, and Gruev getting his usual couple of minutes on for Ruter, or the other way around with those two. But yeah, it's good, and I thought yeah, the subs shored it up, didn't they, just towards the end?
It's a far better quality of squad than we had when we went up under Bielsa, because we were quite often relying on filling the bench with untried youngsters, weren't we, in that for periods of that season. Whereas you do look at it now, and it's like the players we're bringing on would be starting for nearly everyone in this league. Like Nonto and Anthony, I'm pretty sure they start for everyone bar us, maybe Leicester, and we're just bringing him on. Yeah, because we can.
Yeah, it's not like Jordan Stevens is coming on, is it?
No.
And it was Nonto as well, like a few minutes after he came on. Really unlucky not to score. His shot, was it deflected, and then did the keeper tip it onto the bar or something?
Yeah, I think it went defender's foot saved and then hit the bar.
Yeah, but that was that little burst of chances where, like, a minute later, I think Somerville went to the byline and he got it to Pirro, but that was just blocked into the keeper, and then we scored. It was like, cool, that's great. We're going to win.
Yeah, winning's great. I really, really like winning. We've won loads. It's 10 wins in 13 now, as Lucas is pointing out. 7 undefeated. Farker is the real deal. Strap in, everyone. I'm strapped in.
I am.
Yeah,
I'm ready for it. I'm ready.
I feel safe.
Is Sam Byram safe?
I don't know. We'll see, won't we, in the post-match comments? Actually, I don't know if they've started just sort of dripping through yet. I'll keep an eye on that.
What did we make of Spence? I thought he had a strange game.
A number of people in the comments are saying that Farker's given him a little bit of a bollocking.
Oh, really?
There was that moment towards the end where he went forward and just didn't get back, and it was Anthony chasing back. You think, I know it's 2-0, mate, but come on.
Yeah, he had some nice moments, but yeah, seemed very relaxed.
Very much looks like a player who's just come back into it all.
But he was just like playing a really relaxed left wing role for some of it, and I was thinking, you're kind of meant to be a fullback here. Go on, come on, just keep getting back.
House of Stokes is pointing out that Somerville's got more assists and goals than anyone in the top 4 flights, and yet Haaland was robbed of the Ballon d'Or, air quotes. Absolutely correct. Yeah, well, obviously Willie, as Paul's mentioning, went close with that deflected shot that hit the bar. That was like a triple deflection, wasn't it? It was like the defender onto the keeper onto the bar. So that should have counted. So technically it was 3-0.
You kept saying it was going to be 3. I was like, no, we're just playing this out.
Yeah, we tend to sort of shut these games out, don't we? When we're 2 up.
I must admit, 7 minutes added on if we were just a goal up would have been very stressful indeed. But as 2 up with 7 on, you go, that's fine. They can't score.
Yeah, that's the lovely thing of getting the second goal, though, wasn't it? Because, like I say, that first 25 minutes of the second half, I hated it. And then once we got the second goal, it was like, feet up, going to win.
This is fine.
Yeah,
this is fine.
Don't have to panic.
Do you know what the biggest development of today was?
Go on.
I got a text off Phil on 20 minutes. Finally happened. It's taken half a season, but it's finally happened.
He thought he was texting someone else.
But I think he actually called it about right, to be perfectly honest. He said, let's have a look, he prefaced it by saying, right, 20-minute text to make the point. He couldn't just text me on 20 minutes. He had to make a point of it. Showboating. Going to be a grueling 90 this. They know how to counter, but I think Leeds edge it. which is how it basically unfolded.
They didn't. I don't think they did counter particularly well, actually. I'm trying to think of any times we got badly stretched.
When they did play out from the back a bit less mentally, I thought they played some nice stuff, but it was the same for both teams, like up to the edge of the penalty boxes. It was kind of a bit, it was just end to end, wasn't it? But then once it got to the edge of the penalty box, it was all a bit disjointed again.
And we need to talk about the rhubarb and custard kit as well. I messaged Ed Cowburn, who designed it, who came and did the shows with us.
He must be relieved.
He is massively. Yeah, hugely so. You don't want to be responsible for a curse kit, do you? So he sent me but with loads of Y's and E's and A's and H's and exclamation marks. So he's well pleased. So he sent me a picture of Crescencio Somerville celebrating in the kit. He said, "This makes me very happy." I'm sure he won't mind me mentioning that on the stream. But yeah, so we've avenged the kit curse. Fantastic. Ed's happy. We're happy. John Dahl Tomasson's not that happy. He's extremely disappointed to lose the game. Overall, an excellent performance against a very good team, a Premier League team. The difference was Leeds being clinical in transition, and he expects us to get promoted. But I thought we were in the game for a long time. In the second half, I actually thought we were the better side.
Well, didn't win, did you?
He says the challenge on Garrett wasn't a penalty. And Phil has said in brackets, stick that honesty in a scrapbook. Says he hasn't seen the Strauchan ball incident back, so he isn't sure on that one. Well, that wasn't.
No.
Never in a million years.
No, you can't. I wouldn't be asking for it if it was for us. I'd just go with it.
You'd take it.
Yeah, of course you'd take it. Of course you would.
But you won't.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
But you
I
don't want it.
I would ask for it at the time. Like,
Yeah.
as that ball's crossed in and I'm in the stadium, I would obviously shout handball. But you can't give handballs for them. So, no, he's not having it.
Stu's digging me out now for being excited that Phil texted me.
I know, it's pathetic.
It's taken months. It's taken months for it to happen.
Grown man.
Should we talk about little Danny James as well? Mike's just pointing out that not many people, himself included, saw James's contribution coming this season. Just his sort of broader seasonal contribution. Is he really improved, do you think?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think was Birmingham the third game of the season? I can't remember. Even when he gave away that late penalty and wasn't great in it, and there was a bit of me thinking, he's still Dan James, isn't he? He's just like the same limitations as we've seen from him over the previous couple of years. But he just seems to have found his way in this team now. Just shooting from that same, he seems to score from the same sort of spot every time. And he's just incredibly useful in this league.
Maybe he
that
just
level
needed
of speed.
Needed a proper coach.
Maybe so.
He also looks, he's probably like confident for the first time in years as well, because he is doing it, and it's that thing of once you get one, they all seem to follow, because that finish today was brilliant, and it's not the type of finish you would ever have previously associated Dan James with.
You'd have expected him to sort of spoon it wide or put it over the bar or just and then look quizzical afterwards.
We've seen him lash quite a few shots high and wide from there, haven't you, where he tries to almost hit him too hard, but that was just, it felt quite controlled today.
Yeah, you can forgive him a few though when he's putting that many in.
And his Swansea finish was nice the other week as well, when it was he put it into the roof of the net when he could have easily, I don't know, tried to keep it low, but then it makes it much easier save for the keeper, and it was just, it's just showing some actual finishing ability.
It's funny going back to that Birmingham game, because I was thinking, watching Rutter these last few weeks, like if we go back to his early appearances this season, we were still a bit like, fucking hell, we spent all that money on him. And like you watch him today, and it was not even one of his better games, and he's still like been really decisive, and he's generally just been amazing these last few months.
It all just needed that little bit of time to gel, didn't it?
I think that goal at Ipswich was a bit of a turning point for Rutter as well, because it was the first time he'd done something where everyone went, wow, bloody hell.
Yeah.
Like, he's unbelievable. He's actually got some skills as this bloke who we've not really seen, because we didn't see anything of him last year, did we?
No.
Like, nothing at all. He just didn't, he wasn't allowed to play, was he? Because Allardyce had decided he needed some grizzled bastards.
And I guess the desire to try those tricks is very much dependent on a young man's confidence. And if he was all a little bit out of sorts by moving country or whatever it might have been that didn't quite click for him, the struggle in relegation, then fair enough.
Just looking at the league table, we're quite close to the top now.
We are. Four points off Ipswich, 5 off Leicester. All it needs is Borough to do us a favour today, and then we're right in the hunt, aren't we? Especially with Ipswich to come to Ellen Road in a couple of weeks. But just talking about the commentary on the visual radio, a number of people who saw the Blackburn international feed had a good old laugh. It's interesting that John Dahl Tomasson has said that some of these weren't penalties, because the Blackburn commentators today said that the ref was at fault today, would have lost to 4 clear penalties. We would have if he was on it.
I can't even think what
4 clear penalties.
I can't even think what the other 2 would be. No, they're just wrong. I'm afraid. But we had Bryn and Tony, didn't we?
Yeah.
So that was nice. They agreed things weren't penalties, and they're completely unbiased, thankfully. So
Much like we are, we're very objective.
Yeah, completely, yeah.
Very, very objective. I've looked for Farkas comments coming through. I think John Dahl Thomason's still doing his bit, but yeah, it's leaving us perilously close to the top. I quite like the idea of reeling them in, as long as we actually do. If we don't, I'll be very, very sad.
Well, we've gone now. We're above 2 points per game as well, which should get you up automatically.
Yeah,
as far as I'm concerned.
I really like Farkas' way of looking at that, where he's like, just don't look at the table, but if you want to get promoted, it's 26, 27 wins and 10 draws and whatever. I think I've just looked then, have we got 12 wins, is it? And we're not even at the halfway point. So if you get another couple of wins in our next 4 games, you are halfway there. But I suppose, and if Leicester and Ipswich just want to win every game, then I just sort of think, well, fair play.
They won't though, will they?
No.
That's the thing. They definitely won't.
No.
And
We will, though.
We probably will.
Yeah. 12 wins in 20 is not bad, considering that they basically all come after that first month. Not far off.
Yeah. I think we're now developing a bit of a reputation as well, where teams are scared of playing us probably, which maybe in the early part of the season wasn't there. It feels like people have to be a bit careful against us now.
Yeah.
Which will...
You've seen it in the last couple
which will benefit us, I think.
Last couple of home games where people being too respectful of us and letting us play, and then... I
mean, we have been giving teams a goal lead as well in recent home games, which has not been ideal, but it's not mattered either.
So they'll kick off in the next few minutes, which is exciting. We can go away and stress about that.
I'd rather they didn't. I preferred looking at the league table now.
Right.
Without them having the points, but, we're catching them on goal difference as well now.
Yeah,
Plus 16, same as Ipswich, only 6 behind Leicester, because that was a massive difference at one stage as well, but we're reeling them in.
And you do wonder what it does psychologically to them if they were to drop points today, or maybe even just get one, and suddenly that gap just is starting to drop. You're aware that it's there of you. Because I remember when we didn't go up, Bielsa's first season, and that happened to us, just that thought of, they're going to do us, and in the end they did, and that made me sad.
And as well, when we were in League One, I know we did get out of it in the end. But having to watch the way we started that season and then watching us getting reeled in and going, all right, well, second still looks safe. Oh, shit, we're going to mess this up as well. And it's just, the feeling of people breathing down your neck is horrible.
What are your feelings about...
Apart from when we get top and then we'll just romp it.
What are your feelings about just putting the top 3 as promoted, no playoffs?
Yes.
Seems fair.
Agreed. Unless Southampton get it, then obviously we need to be 4 up, 4 down. Seems fair to me.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the Premier League. It'd be a fair season, I think, to have 4 relegation slots, wouldn't it? Because it's not fair to have. Like Sheffield United shouldn't even count. They should be out now. They should allow us to go in for the second half of the season and play in their place.
Just admit your defeat now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there's no point playing these games. Just get out. Don't want to see you anymore. No one wants to watch it.
Will you go away and stress over these games this afternoon now, or is that you relaxed for the duration? Because out of our control, you got to give up control of these things.
That's fine. I'll check in on the scores.
Namaste and all that.
That's the nice thing about an early kick-off. Just got the rest of your weekend. It's fine.
Well, yeah, it's the same as the Rotherham situation, though, wasn't it? That we had the chance there to kind of really put pressure on the teams above and failed to take it. But having taken it today, feels jolly, bloody nice, doesn't it? Still awaiting Farker. I think they're just teeing him up there in the old in the presser. But man of the match. If we think about hero of the week for the week coming up, bearing in mind we've got Sunderland midweek as well. Quick turnaround.
I actually don't know.
I don't think there really was a standout, was there? James, I enjoyed for his goal and his little road running impression. I was kind of surprised he took James off rather than Somerville in the second half, because I thought James had been more involved, but he was.
But he does do this when he's got one eye on the next game, doesn't he? I think,
and he was proved right because Somerville scored a few minutes later.
I thought Rodon was very good.
Yeah,
defensively again, he's a bit like the attackers being better than most players they're against. It feels like that with Rodon as well. He's got a bit of pace about him. He's good in the air. He seems to read the game fairly well. So I think he makes a big difference for us. Everyone was just a bit sort of 6 to 7 out of 10, which was good enough.
Yeah, it's just those good solid wins, isn't it? When you get these good solid wins.
I really enjoyed Pascal Strauch's big slide tackle. Was that in the first half where he was going towards the touchline and he just slid in from about 20 yards? I did have flashbacks to like Liam Cooper being in those situations and sort of taking someone out by the waist. But Pascal is a calmer, more composed man.
Yeah, when you saw the replay of it, 'cause my initial worry was that he jumped at him, but he was fully sliding, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Making the most of the wet pitch.
Yeah. Yeah, it was one of those. Yeah, it was a slightly hair-raising moment, wasn't it? Any villains that you want to pick out? Anybody from the opposition stand out? Your young man Wharton, you think?
Yeah, he should have been booked in the first half, shouldn't he? But he was allowed to get away with one. There was one about 10 minutes in that he should have definitely been booked for, but the ref was like, I'll give you to the second half till I book you. But he was fairly lenient generally, I think. He seemed to let us away with a few bits as well.
Everybody seemed to get one, didn't they? There was
Yeah, like he had, I think it was Ampadu's fourth foul, and he went over and went, look, I'm going to have to book you if you do another one. And then he did another one, and he was like, right.
Yeah,
I can't keep just ignoring this.
I was going to say, as Bruno Tony mentioned, it was like about 4 or 5 by that point, wasn't it? It's like on a totting up basis alone, given how low the threshold is these days for a booking, it was always going to come in the end.
Smodic for them has got dickhead's hair, so maybe him as a villain.
I really enjoyed him just smashing the ball into the stand at the end and then turning around and moaning at the official or something. I don't think that's their fault, mate.
Yeah, he shot from a ludicrous angle, didn't he?
Daft.
I mean, that's the difference as well between like the Premier League and the Championship, the decision making in tight situations like that. In the Premier League, you expect somebody to maybe cut that back, and suddenly you're facing a pretty uncomfortable last few minutes in injury time, 7 minutes of injury time, no less.
I don't know where they came from, really. But
lots of subs. We used 3 sub windows in that second half, and that included Spence not being ready when Byron was injured and he had to jog all the way back down the touchline, didn't he?
Byron had a little sit down for a little while as well, didn't he? Before he played on when he looked like he couldn't run.
Yeah, there was a bit where just after he'd got injured, he was left 1-on-1, wasn't he? And they just chose to cross it rather than run at him. But I was thinking his legs have absolutely knackered here. If they run at him, he's in a lot of bother. But he managed to.
Their wingers just suddenly looked really quick, didn't he? But they didn't really take advantage of it.
It's just been asked. Hutchie wants to know. Surely Michael didn't pay for the LUFC match pass rather than finding a free radio stream.
Well, it's not an option because we're in the UK.
Yeah, obviously. I think our office in Germany though, they got it.
Yeah,
and then they relayed what was going on. Just they told us, didn't they?
Yeah, that's what happened. That's what happened.
The important thing is that £10 went to Leeds United.
Well, exactly.
From Germany.
Correct.
For
the paid in Deutschmarks, I believe.
But
yeah, some of these non-televised games, the visual radios can be a little bit unreliable, can't they? So we did decide to,
Did we?
Get the German office to help.
Yes. We reached out, hands across the ocean.
What do our German office sound like, Michael?
They're actually all English. It's just just based in Germany. So no need for any accents.
You don't fancy letting us know what that'd sound like?
No, they're all from Yorkshire over there.
Cannot wait for our live Christmas show, by the way.
I might do a bit then.
Yeah. We've got some extra tickets have been released, haven't they, for that, which we'll be publicising. So if you are in Leeds on the 21st of December, it's sold out, but we've released some standing tickets. So safe standing.
Restricted view.
Yeah.
Standing tickets.
It'll be Michael's last appearance before he's cancelled.
It's possible. It's possible.
I do fear what you might say, but the comments are dripping through now from the presser. Farker, do you want to read out Farker's comments?
No, you're all right.
You sure?
Yeah,
you're much better than me. You read better than I do. For us, it's a massive away win. I was really respectful. Blackburn are such a good possession side. I'm pretty happy and delighted with our performance. I expected a tight win. Due to the chances, a well-deserved win. Feels Daniel.
I'm happy with these tight wins.
You like a tight win?
Wasn't that tight, really, was it?
Yeah, tight 2-0 away win is fine by me.
Goal 25 minutes in, goal 20 minutes from the end, something like that. Yeah. They were nicely spaced with the goals, just keeping it steady. Managed to not concede early or just before half-time as well today, which was nice because I feel like we've done that a lot in recent weeks.
A deserved win. So yeah, the 3 o'clock kickoffs are now playing as we record. We could stay on. We could do the match ball for like another 2 hours, couldn't we? Potentially.
Let's not do that.
Just do a watch along.
A watch along of
FOTMob.
Of FOTMob. Yeah, we'll do that.
Just regards to the live show, House of Stokes is asking, are we streaming the show for people subjected to life in America? No. We'll record it. Not with cameras.
Take out some of the bits.
Because when we once did a live show before, Michael said some really questionable things.
Doesn't sound like you. Well.
That I felt probably were best left in the room.
You had to be there.
Yeah.
It was a different time. This is making it sound like I said it was about Willie Mackay and Neil Warnock, to be clear. I wasn't being awful to anyone who isn't awful.
You certainly weren't punching down, were you?
No, exactly.
You were very much punching up. Byram, it's the hamstring by the looks of it. Just a little bit of a
bloody hamstring.
Little bit of a tweak. It could be that he's out for this week, but we'll assess him. There's a concern about him for the next 2 games at least. Nice to have a squad.
Maybe Junior. Oh no, never mind.
No,
He'd be fit soon enough
for what though?
For his loan move.
for a game or 2, and then back out. That's by a left back. I was saying this during the game, wasn't I? Saying, given that we seem to be in sort of sensible era Leeds United, and the transfers we did in summer were just obvious ones to a degree, just buy a left back. Get a loaner left back. Just have some options there.
Find a left back.
Yes, accept Junior Firpo is not going to be fit.
There must be a left back somewhere in football.
There must be. We've made it really difficult, so much so that we had to wait for this summer to get a right back and play him at left back.
I mean, yeah, that's the thing. All the good Leeds left backs I've seen, none of them have actually been left backs. So part of me does think, buy a right winger maybe. Turn him into
Shove him
one.
over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Byram is right-footed, isn't he? So,
Yeah, he is. He's, like I say,
he likes to play an inverted fullback, does Farker, so do that. Buy 2 of them. It's wild, isn't it?
Can you imagine?
Imagine that. Well, we will wrap up the show in just a second or two. I'm just saying, looking at Farker's comments coming through, you can obviously read them yourself. You don't need us to relay them, do you? Happy with Spence. Transitional moments, he could run back a bit quicker, yes, so that's a public challenge to what he was talking about on the pitch at the end.
I mean, I could have run back quicker than he was running back.
He's saying it's quite normal, his first game after months out. Happy that we have him as an option.
Big, isn't he?
He is a big lad. Bamford was ill today, hence not involved. That's just being cleared up. I wonder, is that ill in the rap sense?
Yeah, he was sick,
Yep.
he said.
Throwing out some sick rhymes.
Yeah.
Super. We will wrap it up there.
I thought Joseph was... I quite enjoyed Joseph's little cameo.
I was wrapping the show up.
Soz. I just remembered. We didn't have Pat Bamford, so we brought a different striker on. And I quite enjoyed it.
Yes, so we will wrap up the show there. Thank you for joining us on the live stream. If you're listening afterwards, TSB Plus members get priority access. Have a look at that on the website, squareball.net/plus. And we'll be back with another match ball after Sunderland midweek. And we've got all the usual stuff across the week as well. Shows and stuff. Propaganda?
Yeah.
Should we do
some of that?
We'll do some propaganda. And I'll be speaking to Phil on Monday, reflecting on this and getting the view from the press box. Speak to you then.
The Match Ball.